So hard to hear. Oh, great. Now they've frozen. Come on. Let's see if I can find this anywhere else. My goodness. And it's nowhere else? Are you kidding? No, here, AP.
The rest of the former president's schedule, like a golf outing.
All right, they haven't started yet.
OTR movement, a lot less of the visible security preparations, the security screenings, a smaller package of Secret Service and other officials traveling around. And if those changes are being made, we don't know about them yet, and we may not ever be told about them. The Secret Service may simply decide to make those changes unilaterally and quietly.
So this is the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, Palm Beach County. It's about to begin. So get ready to be lied to. Don't forget, Palm Beach County is the land of Epstein. Hi guys, it's me, Jill. I'm your host for today's breaking news. Oh my gosh, can you even believe that they tried to kill President Trump again? I can believe it. I mean, that's what they do. They are the cult of death. So there's some stuff going on. Anyway, I just wanted to jump in and say hello. Here we go. They can't kill our president. He is bulletproof. Okay, these ladies do not look like they have any kind of authority. Yeah, it's amazing how teeny tiny women are now police officers and Secret Service officers or whatever they're called, agents. Can't wait to see what kind of clown shows up now. I think it's that, well, it's probably the commissioner or the sheriff. Well, it's the sheriff. It'll be the sheriff. I forget his name. There he is. No. That's not him. Oh, I see the FBI dude. I'm going to turn this up for y'all.
FBI, Secret Service.
Horrible sound.
Everything that we have. We're going to give you the latest updates. They're going to tell you what's going on with the investigation. Everything. And we know we're going to do a limited amount of questions. So make them good, right? Don't get into what if, all this. Get legitimate questions. You got it?
Legitimate questions only.
Okay. We're here today to give an update on the investigation in regards to the incident at Trump International. With me is the U.S. Attorney, the FBI, and the Secret Service. Just to give you a little information, as you well know, the road down there on Summit is still blocked off. It will be blocked off probably for the remainder of today and probably a good portion of tomorrow until some of the investigative things need to be done and finished. But we're accommodating people in and out, getting them to the library, getting them to the post office, so the public is not going to be that far inconvenienced. The security level at Mar-a-Lago is the highest it can possibly be now. The road closures are back in place and will remain there. The checkpoints are in place. And my commitment to the Secret Service is to give them every possible resource from PBSO Once they determine the level of security that they need, they will get all the resources possible.
Specials, Olympia.
So having said that, I'll let you talk to the U.S. Attorney.
Just noting that Acting Director Rowe is here for the Secret Service.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Mackenzie Lapointe. I'm the United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. I want to start by expressing my deep gratitude to Sheriff Rick Bradshaw of Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office for hosting today's press conference and for his department's assistance with this matter. I'm truly grateful for your leadership.
Does this guy have an accent?
I'm also pleased to be joined by our partners in federal law enforcement from the FBI and the United States Secret Service, and also from ATF. Joining us today for comments and announcements are Special Agent in Charge Jeffrey B. Veltri of the FBI Miami Field Office, and Acting Director of the U.S. Secret Service, Ron Rowe. I want to also thank the men and women in law enforcement who have been working around the clock in the initial phase of this ongoing investigation. Our partners include federal and local authorities who effectuated the apprehension of the defendant and have aided in ensuring federal charges were filed against him this morning. We're here to announce that Ryan Wesley Routh, 58 years old, of Hawaii, has been charged by a criminal complaint in the Southern District of Florida with firearms offenses related to an incident which occurred yesterday at Trump International Golf Course right here in West Palm Beach. Ralph was charged federally with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon and possession and receipt of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. He had his initial appearance today before Magistrate Judge Ryan McCabe in the federal courthouse in West Palm Beach. According to the allegations in the complaint, a U.S. Secret Service agent walking the golf course perimeter saw what appeared to be a rifle poking out of the tree line. After the agent fired a service weapon in the direction of the rifle, a witness saw a man later identified as Ralph fleeing the area in the tree line. Ralph was later apprehended by officers from the Martin County Sheriff's Office in coordination with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Complaint alleges that in the area of the tree line from which Ralph fled, agents found a digital camera, a backpack, a loaded SKS-style rifle with a scope, and a black plastic bag containing food. The serial number on the rifle was obliterated. According to the complaint, Ralph was convicted of felonies in North Carolina in December 2002 and March 2010, and therefore was prohibited from possessing a firearm. The FBI is leading this investigation, this ongoing investigation. As the Attorney General stated earlier today, the FBI is continuing its investigation of this incident as an assassination attempt upon the former president. The investigation remains at its early stages.
So they admit
The entire
it's an
Justice Department,
assassination attempt.
including
Thank
the
you.
FBI, the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida, and the National Security Division are coordinating closely with our law enforcement partners to fully investigate and prosecute this matter. The charges we're announcing reflect the strong collaboration of the agencies represented here.
Oh my God,
The
AP
Attorney's
News,
Office
do
of the Department
better.
of Justice would be unable to carry forth our mission without the invaluable assistance of our federal, state, and local law enforcement
Are
partners.
we doing this IFP check?
I'd like to thank the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. And we have Chris Robertson here, Special Agent in Charge, and your Secret Service for the invaluable assistance they are providing, they have been providing. I would also like to recognize the Palm Beach County and Martin County Sheriff's Offices for operating the defendant. Again, without the local authorities to assist in those things, it would be literally impossible to accomplish the things we are able to accomplish on the federal side. I want to personally express my gratitude to the attorneys with the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida. In the counterterrorism section,
They always congratulate themselves before they've even done anything. Did you ever notice that? Stand around talking about how great they all are.
Accountability in pursuit of justice.
It's like a rule or something.
This time I will
Even
invite
Trump had to do
FBI
it.
Special
Say how
Agent in
great
charge,
they are.
Jeff Beltry, to the podium.
They saved my
After
life.
Special Agent in
Yeah,
charge
why was
Beltry
that guy
completes his
allowed to
remark,
get that close in
Acting
the
Director
first
of the U.S.
place?
Secret
Come
Service,
on,
Ron
people.
will provide remarks before we open the floor for a few questions.
Playing games.
And all
here.
and given that this is a pending matter for the court and the investigation is ongoing, all comments will be limited. Thank you very much.
Yeah, acting like they're gonna tell us the truth about anything right now.
Good afternoon. For a quick introduction, my name is Jeffrey Beltry, FBI Special Agent in charge for the Miami Field Office. The FBI immediately
this dude
responded to the scene here in
hates
West
Trump
Palm Beach,
big
Florida,
time,
and we are
FYI.
investigating this matter as an apparent assassination attempt of former President Trump. We view this as extremely serious and are determined to provide answers as to what led up to the events which took place. I want to emphasize we're just a little over 24 hours into this investigation, so we're going to provide as much as we can publicly while our investigation is still ongoing. We must also stress that the United States Attorney's Office is pursuing charges, and that limits some of the details that we can discuss publicly. Yesterday afternoon, Martin County Sheriff's Office took custody of Ryan Routh, and he was transported back to Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Our FBI agents then attempted to interview him, and he invoked his right to an attorney. In the last 24 hours, the FBI and our partners have been dedicated to investigating the incident and utilizing all available resources. These efforts have included our investigative team and the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida, in conjunction with DOJ's National Security Division, are actively working hand in hand to pursue and subsequently execute search warrants. Thus far, the warrants include a video recording device, subjects' cellular devices, a vehicle, and other electronic devices located at previous known addresses.
What was on the video?
We are coordinating with the United States Secret Service to complete numerous interviews of agents on scene. We have also interviewed 7 civilian witnesses at the scene, and that is just the beginning. Our FBI's Honolulu and Charlotte field offices have initiated interviews of several family members, friends, and former colleagues of the subject. FBI has deployed several specialty teams to ASSASSINATION headquarters and our lab division in Quantico to include evidence. This team is collecting and processing multiple evidentiary
Tell us what happened.
These range from the rifle, which is an
How
SKS
much did
model
you pay
with a
this
scope
guy to try to
and
kill
obliterated
Trump?
serial numbers,
Come on, we know who
to 2
you are.
bags,
We know what you're doing.
the subject's electronics, and what appears to be ceramic tiles. DNA has also been collected from
Appears
those
to be
items, which are
ceramic
being
tiles.
sent
You
to
don't know
Quantico
yet?
for testing. We will also process the subject's vehicle for evidence. The Cellular Analysis Survey Team, what we refer to as CAST, conducted thorough analysis of the subject's cellular device locations. The CAST analysis aligns with witnesses' account of the subject's presence at the scene both before and around the time of the incident on September 15th. More specifically, we're continuing to conduct analysis and will be compiling the subject's movements in the days and months leading up to September 15th. Cellular data shows that the subject was in the vicinity of the golf course roughly 12 hours before the engagement with the United States Secret Service. Our investigative teams conducted a neighborhood canvass in an effort to collect and obtain relevant video footage. The subject had an active online presence, and we are going through what he posted and any searches he conducted online. In addition, we're going through media reports and public statements he made that he wanted to recruit Afghan soldiers and others to fight for Ukraine. The FBI has sent multiple requests to companies for returns on the subject's phone and social media accounts. We received several returns and are waiting on additional responses from other companies as well. Our
Our investigative team is completing analysis of the returns and actioning leads as needed, and we anticipate continuing until the FBI knows the full totality of the subject's social media presence. By way of his background, in 2002, as the United States Attorney mentioned, the subject was charged and convicted in North Carolina for possession of a weapon of mass destruction. Law enforcement checks also revealed that from 1997 to 2010, the subject had numerous felony charges for stolen goods. I can also share with you that he was the subject of a previously closed 2019 tip to the FBI where it was alleged he was a felon in possession of a firearm. In following up on the tip, the alleged complainant was interviewed and did not verify, I repeat, did not verify providing the initial information. The FBI passed that information to local law enforcement in Honolulu. On behalf of the FBI, I would like to thank the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and Martin County Sheriff's Office for their incredible work in actioning the witnesses, information, and rapidly apprehending the subject. I would also like to thank the United States Secret Service, the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Florida,
Yeah, this guy's not gonna last long in jail. I have a feeling
the Bureau
they're
of
gonna wanna
Alcohol,
shut
Tobacco,
him up.
Firearms, and Explosives, and our FBI field offices in both Honolulu
blah,
and
blah, blah.
Charlotte,
We're
who
great.
have been
We
conducting
know
additional
everything.
law enforcement activity
Yeah, you
related
guys
to
are
the
so
subject.
wonderful.
Your
We
continued
know.
partnerships have been
Oh,
invaluable.
we know you're working so hard.
Oftentimes in law enforcement, we tell citizens to be vigilant and aware of their surroundings.
They were
Yesterday,
this
a
time.
citizen provided remarkable assistance
Yeah,
which
go
led to the arrest
citizen.
of this subject. We appreciate the public's diligence in passing potential tips and information regarding the subject and this incident to the FBI. If you have any information, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI or go online to tips, that's tips.fbi.gov. With that, let me turn it over to the United States Secret Service Acting Director, Ron Rao.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, liar.
Yesterday afternoon, this country was reminded of the heightened and dynamic threat environment the United States Secret Service and its protectees face on a daily basis. Immediately following the assassination attempt of former President Donald J. Trump on July 13th, the Secret Service moved to increase assets to an already enhanced security posture for the former president. In the days that followed, President Biden made it clear that he wanted the highest levels of protection for former President Trump and for Vice President Harris. The Secret Service moved to sustain increases in assets and the level of protection sought. And those things were in place yesterday. At approximately 1:30 p.m., former President Trump was playing golf during an off-the-record movement to the Trump International Golf Course. A Secret Service advance agent supporting the front edge of the agency's layered approach to protection encountered an individual attempting to secrete himself in the wood line.
I'm not voting for that.
This happened, the alleged gunman was on the public side of the fence near the sixth green. A layered approach of security is integral to the Secret Service's protective methodologies, and it's also the key to our success. As former President Trump was moving through the fifth fairway across the course and out of sight of the sixth green, the agent, who was visually sweeping the area of the sixth green, saw the subject armed with what he perceived to be a rifle and immediately discharged his firearm.
Sorry, guys.
The subject, who did not have line of sight to the former president, fled the scene. He did not fire or get off any shots at our agent. With reports of gunfire, the former president's close protection detail immediately evacuated the president to a safe location. The protective methodologies of the Secret Service were effective yesterday. The former president's protective apparatus allowed for the early identification of the threat and led to a safe evacuation. The increased assets directed by President Biden were in place yesterday. These included the counter-sniper team elements, counter-surveillance counter-surveillance agents on the exterior, counter-assault teams partnered with local tactical assets from the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, and counter-unmanned aerial system elements. all of these entities were present yesterday. And while all of these assets were in place, as I've said publicly, we must satisfy the basic requirements of the Secret Service's protective methodologies. In partnership with local law enforcement, we did just that. And the agents' hypervigilance and the detailed swift action was textbook. And I commend them and our partners for an exemplary response in keeping former President Trump safe. And I will tell you, having served in local law enforcement in Palm Beach County, I can state that I am tremendously impressed and appreciative for all of the efforts of the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and Sheriff Snyder with the Martin County Sheriff's Office. But what was critical to this was the quick reaction, the response, the hypervigilance of the men and women of the United States Secret Service, who since July 13th have been rising to meet an unprecedented and hyper-dynamic threat environment. And they are rising to this moment, and I could not be more proud
Because of
of them and
Democratic
the way they have
rhetoric.
executed, not only yesterday, but what they're doing today, and what they are doing tomorrow, and what they will always do, because it is their duty. Thank you.
All right, well, a little slow here, folks. All right, don't everybody do it at once. Ask who you want to answer the question.
Oh, the
Then
press is
give questions.
chomping at the bit.
Director. Is there any evidence to suggest that the suspect knew that Donald Trump would be on the golf course at that time?
Of course.
And was the golf course searched thoroughly before the former president's arrival?
So at this time, it was an off-the-record movement, meaning it was not on the former president's official schedule. And what I go back to is the layered approach. The elements and the methodologies of the Secret Service. There was a front element. It did its job in sweeping ahead of the president. That's what identified this individual who was in that wood line. And the swift action of that agent doing his job, pushing out ahead, sweeping while the president was behind him several hundred yards and several holes away, out of sight from the gunman, did his job. And that was what alerted the detail, and the swift action is what
On the
triggered it.
first question, was there any evidence to suggest that the suspect knew that Donald Trump was going to be on that golf course
Yeah,
at that time?
answer
Based
that.
on what I know now, and it's an active investigation, I don't have any information.
Knew you
on
wouldn't
that
answer
subject.
that.
How many times did your agents go around the perimeter and scope out the golf course during the 12 hours that this guy was holed up in the trailer?
So this was an off-the-record movement. It wasn't a site that was on his scheduled, it wasn't part of his schedule. So there was no posting up of it because he wasn't supposed to have gone there in the first place.
Director, how do you brief former President Trump on your findings so far, and has his campaign asked for any changes in his security going forward after yesterday?
So,
around as well when you talk.
Over here.
Thank you so much.
Sorry. So I've had a conversation with the former president. We've explained and we've worked with the campaign. The president is aware that he has highest levels of protection that the Secret Service is providing him.
No changes in specific reaction to what we saw yesterday?
We constantly evaluate based on threat. And yesterday, what we show
That's
is
right,
that
Brenda.
our agents and our protective
Someone
methodologies,
Trump's
there's a lot of
get
tactical
both
assets in
gave
place.
this guy the heads up.
Things that have been put in place as a result of what happened 60 days ago. Those elements are working, and that demonstrates the
Someone
redundancies that we have.
posted
And so
Trump.
we constantly evaluate. We'll of course look at this and see what
That's
lessons
what I
learned
think
from it.
happened.
But as
How
of
else
right
would we
now,
know?
we are constantly evaluating that threat. And if we need to ratchet up additionally, we will.
You better ratchet it
Do
up.
we know
You
when
better
Ralph
question
arrived in
everybody
Florida
on Trump's
in general, when he
team.
arrived in Palm Beach, the area?
That's a question probably for
Specifically, and if he's been at the golf course prior to this scoping it out.
We're in the process of collecting a lot of evidence, and that will be part of that investigation to determine his whereabouts, going back quite some time.
Do you have any detail on where he might have gotten it?
That's part of the investigation as well. Again, that's going to be a little bit challenged until we're able to determine the serial number on that guy.
There's no indication where he's from, has he experienced mental illness?
We're still looking into that.
The sheriff mentioned about the
Tell
highest
us why
level
we
of
should vote
protection
for
that they would
Harris
lock down the golf
Draco.
course. Was that a
Why?
miscommunication then, being that President Biden ordered the highest level of
Give us
protection?
5 reasons.
So here's the deal. When it comes to Secret Service protection, we provide the highest level. So for example, yesterday, counter-assault team elements. I'm not going to go into the number of personnel that we have out there, but we have the highest levels of Secret Service. When we work with the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office, like for example yesterday, during that emergency action response, we had their local tactical team assets partner with our local tactical team assets. We had their helicopter up in the air, providing us 360 and situational awareness of the overhead for if there were any potential threats coming at us. So what we did yesterday was exercise our emergency plan based on the number of tactical assets and the highest level of protection that we are providing. The sheriff and I have talked. Now, clearly, when you go down Southern Boulevard right now and you try to get over to Palm Beach and you see the robust presence that's existing outside of
And the
Mar-a-Lago,
library,
the heavy
Donna.
uniform presence,
Don't
the
forget
additional
the
assets of
library.
the Secret Service. And for those of you that were here in 2017, when the president was in office, when you look at that footprint now and you look at it today, there's not much difference there. There is heavy uniform presence out there. And again, what I go back to is yesterday was an off-the-record movement. Off the record. And the president wasn't even really supposed to go there. It was not on his official schedule. And so we put together a security plan, and that security plan worked.
Director,
Secret
I know that the
Agent in
Secret
charge
Service
boundary.
has asked for additional
In terms of him
resources.
being in the vicinity, Special Agent Daughtry, in terms of him being in the vicinity, based on his phone records, is there any evidence to show that
Beltry
Ralph was
hates
in the
Trump.
vicinity, in the area of
Rabid
Wilson?
Trump hater.
When you say in
Right
the
there,
vicinity,
this
does that
dude.
mean right there at that spot in those bushes, or could it have been?
Little Draco still can't figure out why we should vote for Harris.
He spoke on the Secret Service. In terms of your first question, whether he was there earlier, our investigation is still looking to determine.
Giving him
Whoa, whoa. We're gonna do two more. You get one. All right? Only two more. You get one.
Okay, we understand that the Secret Service has asked Congress for additional resources since the Butler rally. Have you received those resources yet?
So thank you for that question. So we are working. Look, the Secret Service operates under a paradox of zero fail mission, but also that we have done more with less for decades. And this goes back many decades.
Wow, we don't have
right?
enough money.
What I can tell you is that we have immediate needs right now, and we have great support, not only from President Biden, and you saw his public statement today, where he said that, he's going to direct his staff to make sure that the Secret Service has the resources it needs. We're having fantastic conversations with members of Congress. I've been up to the Hill last week. We are continuing to have those conversations, but the long and short of it is this. Coming out of Butler, I have ordered a paradigm shift. The Secret Service's protective methodologies work, and they are sound, and we saw that yesterday. But the way we are positioned right now in this dynamic threat environment, it has given me guidance to say, you know what, we need to look at what our protective methodology is. We need to get out of a reactive model and get to a readiness model. There could be another geopolitical event that could put the United States into a kinetic conflict or some other issue that may result in additional responsibilities and protectees of the United States Secret Service. And so we are working,
Where's Dan Bongino when you
making
need him?
information available to all of our partners. And I just want to say that the commitment of Congress to the Secret Service throughout the years has been tremendous. And we will continue to work with them and Secretary Mayorkas, whose support in making sure that we're getting what we need has been phenomenal. He is one of our biggest champions and our advocate. And so we're having these conversations, and I feel confident that we will get what we need. We have immediate needs. We have future needs, too.
Yeah, none of that
I need to make
makes sense,
sure
little
that our
Draco.
counter snipers are the best trained counter snipers in the world.
Charles
That they are
Manson, why?
exactly
Himself.
doing what we need them to do, and that they
What are you
match
talking about?
counterparts in the military, in Tier 1 forces. And right now, we are working with Congress to
Right,
make sure that we
Brenda.
get those for our training facility. We also have a necessary need to make sure that we're getting the personnel that we have. And that requires us to be able to have the funding to be able to hire more people. You can't just give me money and say, hey, we're going to make sure that everybody gets overtime. Because the men and women of the Secret Service right now, we are redlining them. And they are rising to this moment, and they are meeting the challenges right now. And if you look back at their body of work over the last 60 days, the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee, the Republican National Convention in Chicago, A visit of Prime Minister Netanyahu to Washington, D.C. and to West Palm Beach, which Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office supported. And then we go into the presidential debate in Philadelphia last week. And for those in the media that have been to a national special security event, if you saw the National Constitution Center last week, what you saw was pretty much a mini national special security event with the number of assets that were on that perimeter.
Exactly right.
And so our folks are rising to this moment, but it requires all of us to be able to have good conversations and make sure that we're getting the Secret Service where it needs to be.
I go to
and
his
I'm
rallies
confident
all the time.
that we
They're
will
awesome.
achieve that. Because we don't have an alternative. Success, we have to have it every day. We cannot have failures. And in order to do that, we're going to have some hard conversations with Congress, and we're going to achieve that.
Last question, one more.
For the special agent in charge of the FBI,
Yes, sir.
did he act alone? Did he have some kind of help?
Good
At this
question.
point, we're still
We don't
exploring that,
know.
investigating that.
We
Our
are not
investigation will
sure.
determine that. We do
Maybe
not
a
have
couple of
information that he's
agents.
been acting with anyone else at present.
Do we know how long he's been in Florida?
Maybe a couple of my Trump-hating friends.
At this point,
Our investigation is still determining that. Thank you. All right,
How was he able to get away? How was he able to get away? That's it. I'm not gonna do any more. All right, you got a lot of information there. The last thing I will tell you is, like the director of the Secret Service said, you know, the president called me last night, President Trump. He thanked me for everything that we did along with the Secret Service. He knows we work great together, and he feels safe. That's important, because he is. And what we did yesterday proves that the system can work. Because the suspect didn't even get close to getting around off, and we apprehended him and brought him to justice.
Did the president
So
say
we're
when he
very, very proud of that. Thank you, folks, for being here. I appreciate it.
Sheriff, one more time for the record, how do you pronounce his last name, Sheriff? Is it Ruth or Ralph? I heard both.
Who cares? Who cares how you pronounce his name? What, does he need some kind of respect or
here we go.
Okay, so, wait a minute, I'll leave that going, but just turn off the sound. Sorry, I'm over here eating pumpkin seeds. Anyway, what did we learn? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yes, exactly, Denise. They're still investigating the last assassination attempt in Butler. They don't know anything. And their incompetence is the reason that Trump keeps getting shot. Also, the disgusting rhetoric, calling him Hitler, saying he's a threat to our democracy. He can't be in office. Oh, he'll destroy our country. Well, they destroy our country. It's so typical. It's the gaslighting boyfriend, right? You know? Oh, man, if you leave me, you're going to be destitute. You will be in the dirt. I've heard it. I've heard this before, actually. I had this boyfriend who was like, you leave me, your life's going to be crap. Never true. So, yeah, Wayne, why did the sniper team miss him 3 times? He got up and ran away. What was that all about? That was the last question. Did you hear one of the reporters said, how do you escape? And they were like, see you later, bye. Stinker. Yeah, we need Mike G, new sheriff in town. Because Palm Beach County Police, again, land of Epstein. Just saying. Just saying. They don't seem to like President Trump at all. And I know because I do live in Palm Beach County. When I am there, I'm covering Trump events. They are not very nice to us Trump supporters. Actually, here's a little fact. See this hat? I got this hat exactly at that golf course. I was standing in front with a bunch of fellow patriots, like a lot. There was like at least 100 of us. And all of a sudden, Trump shows up and the Secret Service run out and they brought us all food for lunch, literally. What did we get? Like hot dogs and I don't know, water bottles and potato chips and so nice. And if that wasn't nice enough after we all had lunch, then Trump got out of his limo and he was holding this hat. He was holding a bunch of hats and he handed them to the Secret Service and they ran out and they gave us each. I got 2 hats that day. Wow, this hat and a blue hat. So anyway, I love this one the most. I don't know why. It's just my favorite. It doesn't fit me that well, but I don't care. It's a MAGA hat and President Trump touched it. It came from Trump. So I'm like, that's what he gave me. He gave me a hat. So I wear it all the time on my shows because why not? Too bad it's backwards, but that's just the way it goes. Anyway, can you even believe that they tried to kill him again? And then we've got fools like this Draco dude. It's like, vote for Harris. I'm like, why? Crickets. No reason that you... She cares for people. Oh, really? Does she care for people? Does she care for the residents of Springfield, Ohio? And every day, more and more stories about the stray cat population has just about disappeared in Springfield, Ohio. And it is a fact that Haitian people do eat cats. You know who else eats cats? Chinese people. Chinese people eat a lot of crazy stuff that we would never even consider as food, including salted duck. You know what that reference is to? Salted duck, right? The latest Chinese spy caught buying salted duck. Did that duck come from the local pond? My goodness. How awful when our local duck and geese population have to be afraid to stop at our lakes and rivers on their migration south for the winter. Because that's what's happening now. It's bird migration time. My husband Ray always loved bird migration time the most. Rest in peace, Ray. We are coming up on the 2nd anniversary of his death. And yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. So, you deal with grief in your own way. Some days, I know we love you, Ray. Some days are harder than others. Sometimes I just feel his presence with me and I don't miss him so much because I really do feel like he's almost like an angel on my shoulder. So I never feel like I'm alone and and I'm not afraid of anything. It's funny. I remember once saying to somebody, I'm not afraid of anything. And Ray says to me, he says, I know, baby. He says, that's why I love you. And then he says to me, it's also what scares me the most about you. But yeah. Yes, so there's God and Jesus, Annie. So yes. No, I'm never alone. I always have the Lord with me for sure. But I do also always have my memories of Ray. So, and I've got the muffster. She's taking a nap right now. Anyway, I am using my YouTube channel to do on-the-spot reporting. I can't physically be at these press conferences, but thanks to YouTube Live, I can, and so can you. So I'm trying to keep up with the news as it comes out. I was at a pool party yesterday when I heard that President Trump was shot at again. Attempted assassin, caught in the bushes, actually not caught in the bushes, fled the bushes. And he's a lefty loon. And and it's just crazy because the Dems are like, he's a Republican. Yeah, sure. He's a Trump supporter. Oh yeah, Trump supporters just want to kill Trump so bad. Who thinks like this? Who thinks like this? It's so ridiculous. What else are they saying? Oh, Trump brought it on himself. And then we've got these people like Cackles and Dementia Joe. And they're all like, there's no place for violence in our political landscape. When they turn around on the other side of their mouth and they're like, you got to get rid of Trump. Oh, he's going to destroy our country. Oh, you can't let him, he can't be elected. He's gonna ruin our democracy. Everything down the tubes because of him. He's Hitler. Yeah. Yeah. If you're so happy that he's safe, what is that? What is that? On the one hand, he's like the worst thing in the world, and on the other hand, you're happy that he's safe. Yeah, we know what you really think. Come on. You don't have any more cards to play, so offing him is the only thing you can do. Tucker told us a year ago that you were going to do this, and here we are. 2 attempts in 2 months. Great. That's really great. The good news is President Trump is protected by God. And that's right, Annie. God is in control of everything. And it wasn't the Secret Service that saved his life. Hi, Barbara. It was definitely the Lord himself. Because the man was consecrated on that first shot. And now they can really, they can't hurt him. So what doesn't kill him makes him stronger. Let's play that song before I go. Just a song before I go. Oh, I'm off. I'm off on that one. Let's see. There it is. It's the perfect song. My friend Rick wrote it, and who knew it would be like again and again. Very useful. Come on, play it. Oh, well, it's not going to work if we don't have any volume. They can go viral, you guys, if that's a little bit. That's my friend Rick Angeli on the guitar.
There's a billionaire who really cares to make America great again. They threw everything at him that they can, but there he is, he took a stand. The Russian collusion, oh,
what a joke!
Impeachment hearing from the woke. January 6th, that was the biggest lie. They were reaching for that blue sky. Blue sky. What doesn't kill him makes him stronger. The world is wondering how much longer. What doesn't kill him makes him stronger. Oh yeah. The New York trial, it wasn't fair. They pulled all the charges from thin air. They tortured that man 8 long years, enough to bring our country to tears. When all else failed, they took a shot. They missed
and again,
but not by a lot. Trump is doing this for you and me, so all Americans can be free. Oh yeah. What doesn't kill him makes him stronger. The world is wondering how much longer. What doesn't kill him makes him stronger. Oh yeah. What doesn't kill him makes him stronger.
Hey, Rigoberto.
What doesn't kill him makes him stronger. Oh yeah.
This is my favorite part. Get ready.
America great again.
Do it. Let's do it. Yeah. Yeah, if you love this country and you want an end to the endless wars, you'll vote for Trump. So I'm glad to see Rigoberto here. There's always a couple of trolls and losers and whatever. Who cares? Anyway, I want to make this country great again. So I'm going to vote for Trump. All right, you guys. Well, thank God, and he's the one to thank. Thank God President Trump survived yet another attempt on his life by a lefty crazy person who is probably being controlled by the three-letter agencies. Just saying, just putting it out there. Thanks for joining me on this update that didn't update you on anything except for how they lie and how proud they are of themselves for lying. I don't know. What do? What you do is you pray. You pray for the safety of our president, and you pray for the safety of our country, because they are getting desperate, and that's very clear. Austria. Well, I'll vote for Trump because I want a peaceful country. That's why. Really, if you need a reason that is like very succinct, the reason is peace. President Trump is a peaceful president for 4 years. No wars. In fact, he fomented Middle East peace. Yes, he did. And he became friends with Kim Jong-un and walked over the DMZ like nobody ever before. So I want peace. I don't like war. I don't like all this killing. I want peace. I want prosperity. I want the cult of life instead of the cult of death. So, Mr. Austrian, and I actually have a Swiss citizenship, so ich spreche Deutsch. But anyway, the fact is I want peace in my country. I want peace around the world, and that's what President Trump brings, is peace around the world. No more wars. Exactly, Donna. No more wars. It's that easy. It's very simple. And, so if you want to know why I want to vote for Trump, that's the reason. No more wars. I want peace. I want prosperity. I want happiness in my country again. All right, you guys, I'm going to say ciao for now. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And Trump 2024.